Growing up, I had three grandfathers. I mean, technically I still do, but um, two of them are dead. But you know what I mean. So I had a step grandpa. That's how you get the third one. It wasn't like some weird stuff happened, like aliens abducted. No, 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 no. I had a step grandpa, and I remember this one time. My step grandpa, he we were at my aunt's house, and you know he disappeared. And everyone was like, oh no, he's senile. We gotta go find him. So what happened was my aunt called up all her neighbors in the neighborhood that she talked to, and she was like, we need to form search parties. And like the family broke up into little teams, and they were like, you guys walk up the street north. You guys walk down the street south. You guys patrol, the people's backyards to see where he is, and I'll call all the neighbors and see if they've seen him. And we went crazy for like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes trying to find him. And then one of the kids comes down to the adults, and they're like, there's a strange noise coming from the bathroom. And they're like, well, that's weird, but don't worry about it. And then somebody else comes down and is like, no, 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 there's a weird noise coming out of the bathroom right now. And so a bunch of the adults go upstairs, and they put their ear to the door, and you don't really have to, and they hear coming from behind the door. He had fallen asleep on the toilet, and we thought, that he got up and walked away. He was in the house the whole time. He was just taking a nap on the shitter. And now we may not be related by blood, but we do share a few traits.
When someone meets my family, they inevitably ask, how are you, you? Why is that, you ask? Have I got a story for you?
The toilet is not the only place I fall asleep. I also have this thing that my family and friends, lovingly, I guess, like to call carpolepsy. Though it doesn't apply specifically to cars. I can fall asleep in any moving vehicle. Doesn't matter what it is. Cars, trains, planes, whatever. I'll fall asleep. Though I, for some reason, seem to wake up like right before we reach the destination. Like I just know, and I'm like, ah, time to get up. But I can fall asleep anywhere, and it kind of drives a lot of people crazy. Like especially if I'm supposed to be the one giving directions, and I'm just like, you're gonna turn. It's a thing that's happened before. I try not to do it when I'm like I get really really nervous if I have to come home on the train. I get really really nervous. I'm like, if I take a nap, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wake up and I'll miss my stop, but I never do. I always wake up like, ah! If I fall asleep, I'm like, ah, my stop is next. I know. Also, my sweet mates thought maybe it's a defense mechanism I've developed. To stay away from my family. Like, oh, I'm locked in a small enclosed space with them. Better conk out. Can't bother me when I'm asleep, which is a lie, but that'll be a story for another day. So let's get back on the topic of toilet naps. There were 3 times in college where I fell asleep on the toilet, and it was kind of weird and funny. The first one was freshman year. I fell asleep on the toilet. And I was in the bathroom for a long time. And like, I don't know, a couple hours later, one of the people who lived in the same hall as me, one of my neighbors, he comes into the bathroom and he hears snoring and he's like, hello? And I was like, hello? And he was like, Scott? And I was like, oh. How long have I been out? And he was like, I don't know. I just came in here to take a shower and I hear snoring and it's weirding me out. And then senior year was the best one by far. It wasn't when I was dying. It was totally fine. And I got up, I don't know, it was probably like 3, 4 in the morning because nobody sleeps in college. Sleep is for the weak. I go to the bathroom. I am really tired at this point. So I go into the bathroom, I sit down, and I fall asleep. And I'm out for at least an hour. And I don't know if you've sat on the toilet for a really long time, but it makes your legs go to sleep. Your butt goes first and then your legs. Because it's not a very comfortable chair to sit in for I mean, lots of people call it a throne and what have you, but let's face it, it's not that comfortable a seat for you to sit on for long, long periods of time. Uh, so I wake up and I'm like, oh, I've been asleep on the toilet for hours, man. I gotta get up. And I go to get up, my legs are asleep, but I just woke up, so I don't feel anything. And I go to stand up, my legs are asleep. I fall into the door of the stall. We have, like you have stalls and suites and whatever. It's almost like a public bathroom that's private, that kind of deal. So I stand up, my legs are asleep. I smack into the door of the stall, and I bounce back and sit back on the toilet. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't leave the bathroom. And I have to sit there for like 5 more minutes before I can feel my legs again and I can actually escape the bathroom. So yeah, there's something in my eye and it burns. Ow, ow, ow. Fast forward to a couple years later, I go back to visit school. I'm in my friend's suite. I'm supposed to be helping her with her Japanese test, or not her test, that would be cheating. I'm supposed to be helping her with her Japanese homework. And we're in there talking, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I go, and the next thing I know, I hear, Scott, are you okay? And I'm like, what? She's like, you've been in there for a half hour. And I was like, oh, I fell asleep on the toilet again. I usually fall asleep in more public toilets than home toilets. I don't know why. It's just a thing I do, a weird thing I do, which apparently runs in the family. Anecdote. So the last filming party I had, we got so much work done and it was great. We had fun and whatever. So in the morning, I had Piano Knock slept over, the Laundry King slept over, Grimjack slept over, and Jack Bauer slept over. And in the morning, at like 8 in the morning, we hear thud, 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 thud. Oh, shit! And I rolled over in bed because I assumed Grim just knocked something over. And like 2 hours later, I get up, and there's a hole in the wall. What happened? And he goes, I told you I fell down the stairs. And we're like, okay. But on the way, I rubbed my knee up against the wall and then I shoved it through. So there's a hole in the wall. There was literally a hole in the wall on my stairs. And I was like, ah, fuck. Got up. I was like, I'll deal with it later. Don't care about it right this second. I got up, I go into the bathroom. And broken toilets is scary shit for me and my family. I don't know why. We're just like deathly afraid of toilets being backed up. And I go into the bathroom, like the hole in the wall, I was like, whatever, I'll deal with it later. Go into the bathroom, I see the plunger is out and the lid on the toilet is down, and I'm like, no, 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 who clogged the toilet? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, somebody moved the plunger. Were you using it? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Crisis averted. Now, that was last weekend. Yesterday, my mom comes out of the bathroom and she's like, hey, while I was gone, did one of you guys clog the toilet? Because I see the plunger was moved. And I was like, no, it's exactly what I said. But the other thing that weirds me out is, all right, so the Banshee, my sister, she'll use the bathroom in the den and she'll go number 2 and then she'll put the lid down. She's like, oh, I'm keeping the smell in there. Yeah, for the next person. So when I go to the bathroom and I lift the lid up, I get punched in the face by stench. Like, what? Why do people do that? That is so mean. That is the meanest thing you could do. Oh yeah, I'm gonna ruminate this toilet. Yeah, put all that fertilizer in there. Close the lid. That's so mean. And she doesn't spray either. Like, you could be polite and be like, psst, and spray and then close the lid, or maybe psst in the toilet and close the lid. But no. She does none of that. She just closes the lid. I'm keeping the smell in there. What the hell are you saving it for? That's nasty. Ooh, it's gross. Also, just that huge uppercut of stench when you lift the lid. I also learned I had a really neat trick when it came to sleeping. So one of the classes I was taking was Culture of the Floating World when I was in college. I have a really terrible habit of falling asleep in class. It doesn't matter what class it is. Even if I love the class, fall asleep in class. It doesn't matter what it is. We're in class. I'm surrounded by my friends in that class. Like I have friends in front and behind, on the left and the right of me, and I fall asleep. And at the end of class, I'm like, I like rise up. I'm like, oh, what? I missed stuff. And I turn to one of my friends and I'm like, why did you wake me up? And he looks at me and he's like, what do you mean wake you up? You've been staring at the board the whole time. And I was like, I just learned to fall asleep with my eyes open. Which would explain a lot why I don't get in trouble that often for falling asleep in class. Apparently, I fall asleep with my eyes open when I'm in class so that I don't get in trouble. Thank you, subconscious. You're so helpful. Also, probably one of the reasons I fall asleep so often on the toilet is because that's where I do my best thinking. I don't know about you guys, but I do my best thinking on the toilet. Like, oh, I will come up with, there'll be like epiphanies, angels will shine down and they'll sing in chorus when I think of things on the toilet. The shower is almost as good. I hear that the shower is a really good place to think because when you're showering, it's a mindless activity. So, like, while you're rubbing the soap all over yourself or doing your hair, it's something that you don't really think about. You just do. Like, it's mechanical at this point because you've done it so much in your life. And so you have time to think about other things. But I feel like the toilet shouldn't be as good, but it is for me for some reason. Because I feel like in the shower, you're just kind of like, you're just kind of rubbing yourself. But on the toilet, sometimes you got to be like, yeah, yeah. And that's a lot of thinking and a lot of pressure going out. But let's not talk about poop today. I've realized, does this mean I do my best thinking with my pants off? Because both of those places, you have no pants on. Is that how I unleash my genius potential? I have to rip my pants off like I'm in the NBA? I don't know. I don't know. Just things to think about. And speaking of bathrooms, in this house there are 3 bathrooms and they're color coded. I don't know why. There's a blue bathroom, there's a pink bathroom, and then there's a white bathroom. It was the 70s, man. I don't know. One of the things I noticed was my mom hates when other people use her bathroom. Like, the family can use it, that's fine. But she wants to keep it a secret that she has a little bathroom in there. And I don't know why. And one time she was out, I think it was when she went to visit the favorite child in Arizona. And I was going to the bathroom in there and I grabbed the roll of toilet paper and I was like, wow, this is soft. Wow. Wow, I like this toilet paper. And I realized, I think she's hiding that bathroom because she has the best toilet paper in the house. Like, the toilet paper downstairs, like, falls apart in your hands, and I'm like, why? What use is this to me? I have poop all over my hands. It's gross. The toilet paper in the big bathroom, the pink one, usually hurts. Like, it's got, like, designs and shit on it, but it's like dollar store design toilet paper. So, like, when you rub it up against you, it's like sandpaper, and you're like, ooh, 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 while you're wiping yourself. And then there's hers, which feels like Snuggles, the laundry detergent mascot, is rubbing up against you gently, like he's just rubbing his face up against your anus, and it feels wonderful. And I just can't. Is that why no one's allowed to use that bathroom? I don't understand. I talk about toilets and pee and poop a lot. It's just something I do. And let me tell you, you can think up some good thoughts when you're being caressed by a snuggly teddy bear on your bottom. Epiphanies. Everyone is afraid to use the bathroom in the den downstairs, which is where we used to hang out all the time before I got this fancy ass TV that's, I'm going like this because it's right behind the camera and you can't see it. But Grim got me a fancy TV for my birthday because he was tired of using the CRT TV downstairs because he's an elitist. It's gotta be HD. Everyone's afraid to use that bathroom down there because they keep clogging it. It's definitely has the weakest toilet in the house. And, like, I remember this one time, Crazy Bacon came over, and we're sitting down there playing video games and what have you. He's in the bathroom a long time. And then he goes, Scott. And I'm like, yeah? I think I clogged the toilet. And I just started laughing, and I'm like, whatever. And he comes out like 20 minutes later. He's like, no, dude, can I? Where's the plunger? I really did clog it. I'm sorry. Like, he was so sad that he clogged the toilet. Like, it was the end of the world. It wasn't the end of the world. But don't worry about it. People clog the toilet all the time. We just left a nice sign on it that was like, Crazy Bacon did this. And then my sister came over and she was like, where am I supposed to poop? I gotta poop in this toilet so I can talk to you while I'm taking a shit. It's something everyone in my family does. They'll sit on the toilet and they'll have a conversation with you. But because everyone sits in the den, my sister will go to the bathroom in the den bathroom and she'll just have a conversation with you. But you can't really understand her because it's like, and behind the door, you can't understand what she's saying and there's no context because there's never any context for what she's saying. She sounds kind of like the Tasmanian devil. I don't know if you guys remember the old Taz when he'd be like that's kind of how my sister sounds in day-to-day life. So, Crazy Bacon's clogged it. One of my friends, I'm not gonna name names because this might be embarrassing. He's Japanese. We picked him up from the train station. I brought him here. One time when he came back from Japan, it was before school started, so we had some time off. And he comes into my house and he's like, he looks me right in the eyes and he goes, "Hey, did you know I haven't pooped in 48 whole hours?" And I was like, I did not know that. I didn't want to know that. I mean, that's kind of cool and all, but that's not like I love random trivial facts, but that one was just And so he's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I'm like, be my guest. And he goes to the bathroom and you know, he's in there for a couple seconds. And then I hear and I'm like, and then he goes, done. And I'm like, what? That's it? You I feel like you just squeezed out like an atom bomb, like there's a mushroom cloud and whatever. He was really loud. And it kind of scared me because it came out of nowhere. Like it was dead quiet when he went into the bathroom at first. And then he squeezed it all out, and he was done. And that one particular time, he did not clog the toilet. But he has clogged that toilet at least 3 times in the times that he's been here to stay. And I just thought that was funny that the one that he pushed out the absolute hardest did nothing to the toilet. But that's why most people don't want to use the throne in there. Unless they're weird. Like Grimm has a thing where you can't use another man's throne. So I don't understand. He eats a lot. You're going to see a video sometime in the near future. It's edited and uploaded. It's just scheduled for later. Where you can see him eating like mounds and mounds of food on the face cam. And that's kind of what he does. So I don't understand how he can hold in his poopies. Sometimes he like leaves the house and you're like, where the fuck are you going? And he'll be like, I gotta fart. And he'd be like, I mean, you could have gone into another room. You didn't have to open the door and walk outside and then fart. Like, that's polite, but way past the line of polite normal. It's like polite normal and then Grim. Grim's like, way the fuck up over here where you can't even see it anymore. And I guess that's why we love him. Mm-hmm.
Hey there, guys and gals. Thanks so much for watching, as always. At the end of the Banshee, which you can view by clicking the link on the left here, right on this page, I asked who you guys would like to hear more about after this episode was done, and I didn't get any responses on who we should talk about more for episode 8, but I did get a suggestion from my friend Valley of Ageria, who will be guest starring on this channel sometime soon. I'm winking, you can't see it, but it's happening. To have stories about school, which I will have in the future. It might be a season 2 thing, not sure. But you can see the rest of the videos in the playlist if you click the link on the right. And see you guys in 2 weeks.